everyone, before we keep going here, I need to tell you about our teammates at Darby Communications. Like I've been telling you, if you run an outdoor, an endurance, or an active lifestyle brand, there is no better PR and digital marketing belay partner or drinking buddy than Darby. They can help your business reach new heights, and they might just keep you from falling on your ass. Since we started working with Darby, more and more people, and this is an important point now, guys, I want you to hear me on this, more and more people have reached out to us here at The Rock Fight because of that messaging. Look, guys, I'm dead serious. If they can help us, they can help anybody. Hit them up at darbycommunications.com. Do it today.
Rock fight, rock fight, rock fight, rock fight, rock fight, rock fight.
Welcome to The Rock Fight, where we speak our truth and slay sacred cows and sometimes agree to disagree. This is an outdoor podcast that aims for the head. I'm Colin True, and we are live at Switchback in 2025 in Nashville, Tennessee. Joining me today up here at the Trailheads Theater, we have our own Gear Abbey Shawnté Salabert, outdoor industry insider, the consigliere to the Rock Fight, Captain Eoin Comerford. Rumor has it he's a little overexposed. And my favorite, your favorite, producer Dave! Oh, look at that. That timed that perfectly. That was pretty good, guys. It's really a challenge to time it with the music, so I'm a little pleased with myself right now. Listen, we have a few things on the agenda today. Today we're going to be talking about our instant reactions to Switchback 2025. We're going to have some special guests come to join us, and we will be handing out the Rock Fight's booth accolades. We have some opinions on the booths, and we're going to get into that. So, quick table setting, though, guys. You know, we're here at the show. Let's go around the horn. You know, when the doors opened up this morning, Eoin, let's start over with you, and we'll go this way. Yep. What did you think?
I was impressed. You know, I think we have great turnout from a brand perspective. I think the big question was, would the retailers show up? And I think the answer is yes.
Are there any retailers here?
I don't know.
Bueller.
But no, it was just a great vibe, and just brought it all back from the days of yore, and really just a good first step in the right direction for the industry.
Shawnté, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like a renewal of sorts, in my opinion. I haven't been to trade shows in a hot minute. I took a little time off. And walking in the door, there were, I don't know.
We all did.
We all
took some time off,
did,
yeah.
For better or worse. But walking in the door, I don't know if you saw, there were people out there with phones just like ready for the door to open at 9 o'clock on the dot, just like hashtag trade show influencers. It was awesome. The energy was right on from the beginning. It carries on. Of course, this is the height of the energy for the day, the 5 o'clock hour here at the
We're peaking
Trailhead
late here at Switchback.
Yeah. That's why we have many assorted boozes here on the table.
Is boozes, can you plural?
Boozies, the boozes.
Producer Dave, thoughts on Switchback 2025?
Just like Eoin and both Shawnté said, I was psyched. As soon as you opened up the door, instant energy comes flowing out. Last night, we were here about 5, 6 o'clock, and you know, there's always that pre-show day where you wonder if it's actually going to get done by the opening time, and it did. So kudos to everybody for kicking this thing off.
So yesterday was the education day.
What is that?
Well, I don't know. Were you educated? Did you feel educated?
I was.
You feel smarter than you did before.
Absolutely. Rachel Gross dropped some knowledge.
Well, that's kind of my question. Did we? Yeah. Shout out Rachel Gross. Shout out Lairs. Did we need the education day? What do you guys think? Was the education day worth having or should we just gotten right to the main event?
I think so. There was a really good panel about emerging brands and retailers that I really enjoyed.
I don't know anyone who was on that panel.
I don't know anyone either, but it was a great panel.
Was Lloyd Vogel on that panel?
The Lloyd Vogel?
The Lloyd Vogel, G-Man Lloyd Vogel.
Garage Grown Gear.
Yes.
GGG.
He was there.
Nope.
But no, I think there were some good panels. It was just a good way to kick things off. You know, these things can always get better, but I think it was a good first start.
Yeah, I mean, happy hour. You have to, happy hour for me yesterday just brought it all together.
Was that part of the education panel?
I learned a lot about Tennessee whiskey yesterday. It was
so educational.
No, but I think it's the human aspect. There's so much. You come here, you do business, but also we are here to spend time with each other. And I think last night showed me the promise of what today is.
Wow.
So, yeah, I got real deep there, guys. I loved it.
How much, last question before we get to our first set of guests. how much pickleball did we see? Do we do a quick impromptu pickleball corner? Dave, sing us into pickleball corner.
There was a pickleball sighting for sure.
Did anybody see pickleball out there today?
Raise your
missed it.
paddles if you saw pickleball.
Dave, you want to tell them?
I'm going to call out Life is Good brought the pickleball.
They did.
Okay.
Yeah. Owen was actually pretty excited. Like, no pickleball.
No pickleball.
We're
I
like,
was going to win. I was going to win my bet.
So-
But no. Okay.
All right, let's bring up our first round of special guests. We're going to start at a high level. Well, actually, we probably started at a pretty low level, but we're going to bring it up a notch
Yeah.
with two key people who are here and have put this show together. Both are returning champions to the Rock Fight. They've been on the show, I think, 3 or 4 times between the two of them. Please welcome Switchback show director Christina Henderson and the president of the Outdoor Industry Association, Kent Ebersole. Woo! Hey, buddy. All right.
Should offer you guys one of my many drinks. I've got extras if you need them.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Christina, let's start with you. I mean, firstly, I think we all need to give you a massive high five. High fives to Christina, everybody. I mean, look at this room.
Well, thank you. Our team worked really hard. A lot of them are here. So a round of applause for the Switchback team. Many of them are here.
So, you guys delivered almost every brand Patagonia. Sorry. A little in my throat there. But no, how did it go today? Like, just after this all coming to fruition, how did it go?
We came into this and we didn't know what to expect, right? We had goals and, we kind of thought we knew what might happen, but, the community really showed up. And this event, the energy that everyone's talking about is because of this community. Our team built the space, but you all brought the energy and created the opportunity for connection. So thank you.
Yeah. So, I mean, Christina, there must have been a lot of pressure leading up to today. So, a little bit?
Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, how did it feel walking through the doors? It was finally here. It was like Christmas morning-ish, but with all kinds of pressure. How did it feel this morning walking in the door?
There might have been a few tears, to be honest. Yes. Yeah.
From Kent, I think was, yeah.
Well, we really felt like we had such an opportunity and a responsibility to the outdoor industry to do this. And, but I think I took a big, last night was really a highlight for me. I knew that it was going to be great after the party last night. We had 600 to 700 people there, all getting together, the energy and the smiles and the connection. So that's when I knew that this was going to be great. And then when the doors opened, it was like, yeah, a few tears.
You got some woos.
I know, I appreciate that. Thank
Did anybody
you.
else cry when they walked in today?
I know some of the team did, so I'm looking at them.
So, Ken, what was your pitch to the brands from the OIA to get them to attend and make Christina look so good?
Yeah, it was pretty simple. I just said there's going to be boat rides, and there are boat rides. So
We would like to thank MC Escher for designing this hotel. All right? I would like to shout him out.
it was pretty simple. It was we were going to show up and do education. I don't know why education gets quotes.
I'm not smarter today. I don't know.
That's a pretty high bar.
Yeah, I know, seriously.
We started talking about this show about a year ago, right here in Nashville. We met with Christina right here in Nashville a year ago. We did not take a boat ride, but we did talk about how this might work out. And we looked at the space, and we looked at everything, and it all seemed to make sense. And then we started inviting people, and we asked people to come. And there wasn't a lot of begging. It was mostly, we would love it if you come. We're going to be there, and we're going to show up. And this is what happened. People showed up. So it wasn't that difficult. I will also say that, speaking of tears, yesterday at 10:45, it was probably about 10:30, the doors opened, I think at 10:45 upstairs. And at 10:30, you and I walked in there, and we go, this could just be nothing. There could be no one showing up.
showed up.
Losers.
The room was empty. There were 3 people in the back, maybe, and we go, what are we going to do? because there's a lot of food out there. And by the way, when you ask people, one of the things we've done here is listen. If you heard me yesterday, we listened. And we've listened to everybody that we can, all the way down to, I think Switchback has a database on the kind of bean that you want in the breakfast burrito. They're keeping track of all those details. We've heard all the opinions. We're trying to track them, source them, filter them, and make sense out of it, and deliver a show that really makes sense for the industry. So
I have to
there's a
ask,
moment
what is the most
yesterday.
popular bean?
Oh,
I'm curious.
Yeah,
Pinto.
it is absolutely the pinto bean, for sure. It's no doubt. You can't argue with the pinto bean.
That's right.
Yes, you can.
In any way. You want to do it?
Owen turned his mic off.
I did. Well, I was told to by the people.
Trying to follow the rules.
I did. I'm a
follower.
yes. Nah, not so much. Anyway, so Kent, one of the great things about the show today is actually we've got a lot of emerging brands here. Shout out to Beth Gordon. Where's Beth? Is she out there somewhere?
Beth Gordon, everybody.
Come on.
Where's
Beth
Beth
Gordon.
Gordon?
Beth Flash Gordon.
Beth helped make that
she's
happen by
closing a
putting
deal.
together a special program for emerging brands. So I'm going to throw it to you, Ken, put you on the spot. What is the OIA going to do to better support emerging brands in our industry? Or how can you?
That's a great question. We have a program right now for emerging brands where we're trying to make it more efficient to get involved, and then we're opening up. I can't talk like this. We're opening up the amount of access you get to the data that's previously been behind the gate for the highest level brands, the brands that pay the most. It's active right now. It's super efficient. It's easy to get involved. Talk to me, talk to anyone of the OIA team. We're all aware of it. We can point you in the right direction. It's a simple solution. We just launched it in time for this show to make sure that emerging brands can be a part of it. But if there's an emerging brand out there that can't afford to be a part of this, just talk to us. You don't have to weep. Just talk to us. We will.
It doesn't hurt, though.
We'll figure it out.
So, Christina, we're going to end the segment with you. Lots of talk about, when this show was held, where it is. So 2 questions, will there be a Switchback Spring 2026? And
Absolutely.
okay, breaking news. Shocking. If so, can we say where it is, when it's going to be? Anything we can tease anyone with?
We're really excited to share. We will be sharing in our post-show release. We really want everyone to be present and be here and experience this year's event, and then we will share the great news for next year right after the show.
Will it be, can you share if it will be a bigger venue? Will it be more room?
There will,
Okay, that's something. Appreciate that.
of course.
All right, well, thank you both so much for joining us. Thank you for a great show. One more day to go. So excited to spend one more day with everybody, and thank you for coming on The Rock Fight.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Thanks, buddy. Good job, guys. All right, so an important part of the history of The Rock Fight, for those of you who don't know, it's tied tightly to producer Dave and I wandering trade show halls and making fun of bad booth creative and overly praising the brands that got it right. So today, here on the show for the first edition of Switchback Spring, we're going to present The Rock Fight's top booths that we saw at the show. Quick note, though, before we get started, in order to qualify, you had to have played by the rules and set up in either a 10x10, a 10x20, or a 20x20, which means that Merrill is disqualified because they broke the rules.
I mean, those are the rules.
Those are the rules.
Those are the rules.
Well, who sold them the space? Should we?
No.
Okay, no, we're not going there. Okay. all right.
What I would say, though, is how pissed off is the North Face right now?
Yeah, anyone
Right.
from the North Face here who'd like to care to comment?
All right, because, I mean, they always had the biggest booth, Apex Predator, and they show up, they're like, mother...
Yeah,
Right,
You
right
can swear,
across
it's
the
fine.
aisle is
Yeah.
the Mega Merrill booth.
They gotta
Right?
look at it every day.
Right.
Do you think that was Merrill's strategy? It's like, how
Oh,
big's the North Face's booth? We will buy
100%.
another 20x20.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
In fact, what they
Good
did was they
investment.
made up another fake brand, bought that booth, and then magically joined the team.
I want to list another Wolverine-owned
Yeah.
brand, but I'm not going to right now
you
because
go.
I have class.
You do have
All right,
class.
okay.
Actually,
All right.
the other brand is called Merrill. It's impressive.
Yeah.
All right, so producer Dave, you were easily the most qualified on this panel as the only one who's ever built a booth for a brand. What are the booth themes you noticed at the show today, walking the show floor?
Well, every trade show, you definitely can suss out themes in terms of where collective energy starts to design things in the same space. You get the same cues. Sometimes they're all working at the same fixture manufacturer, so there's a lot of shared resources. But this year, and we see this a lot, but I think booths built from wood structures.
That was
right.
big
The
Yes.
wood structure.
Yeah, right.
You see that.
The artistry of it.
The artistry,
I
the
think it's artistry,
carpentry,
yeah.
the organic nature.
The 2x4s, the 4x4s.
That's right. The pressed wood.
We should just
fantastic.
list lumber sizes for the next 10 minutes.
Dowels.
Just
Don't
riveting
forget dowels.
content on the Rock Fight.
great.
That's what we're known
That's
for.
great.
Did you have a favorite? Did you have a favorite one?
A favorite. I'm going to actually call out Life Straw
Oh,
for
Yes.
their use. I mean, that's
Beautiful.
a pretty cool, the organic shapes, things like that.
could you
That's-
use the booth as a straw?
No.
Okay.
No, but
Do you know
not
for
even a
sure?
good cup. It was kind of porous. But there are others that also did that.
Yeah, the Teva booth was really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. right.
I mean, that
Solid, classic.
somebody spent some money on a really great structure.
Yeah. The Howler Brothers booth, I love an art piece. I thought the mosaic was lovely, also colorful. Every time I walked past it, I was like, "What? Oh yeah."
Oh, by the way, was the mosaic made of recycled wood
I
from
believe it was.
pallets,
I be-
perhaps?
I believe it was.
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
A different kind of wood.
Yes,
Yeah.
prediction coming true there.
Yes,
You
okay.
bet.
Uh-huh.
What do you got next?
Well, look, shout out to Boggs, to Rab, like we said, to Howler. Just bring in the full wood structure, like just.
The Rab booth, I thought was really
Yeah,
nice.
it was
sick.
Just,
Yeah, it was a
just
good one, for
nicely
sure.
done.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
So what about you have 10x10 sample racks?
Yeah, this is just a shout out to all the booths out there that brought a 10x10. They brought their sample racks.
Little
and they were-
table skirt.
And they
That
were
was it.
done, They were done setting up.
Yeah, enough said, right?
That is brilliant.
Easy
Yeah.
peasy,
Brilliant.
lemon
Yeah.
breezy.
It was a 2-box checklist.
Oh, and they completed that,
Do we have our samples?
right?
All right, we're good. All right. Next category, best attention grabber.
Yeah. So again, another a device, if you will, of the trade show booth is how can I draw people in if I don't have the money for a big wood structure?
Yeah.
What can I do to bring you in? And look, animals always score high.
Yeah.
Live animals are even better.
Yes.
And in the case of PACA, even just an empty pen did a good job. Of,
I've walked past it 3 times
what's
looking for that
going- what's
alpaca.
going
Are they
on
coming
there.
back?
I
In
hope
the
so.
morning. They'll be back in the morning, I already asked.
I
Okay.
think it's a good time out for people that are a little unruly as well. You
Well,
could
and
kind
shout
of
out
just,
to the Vermont folks across the way from PACA who was very worried about the place smelling like shit all day, but they said that they didn't shit once the entire day.
No, but I did hear there was a spitting incident on the
on the way out. Yes, I heard that too.
right. So yeah, look, live animals, attention grabber, absolutely. But what are some other attention
That
grabbers?
Night Eyes bubble wall.
Night Eyes Bubble Wall. Who's some
just-
Night Eyes folks in the audience? Anybody?
Night Eyes.
Wow,
You-
Night Eyes
No,
ghosting
no,
us here at the
no,
Rock
they're
Fight.
actually
you know.
still
Oh, there he
staring
is
at
in the back.
There you are. There you are. Show me your headlamp.
There it
Do you have
is.
a zipper
Okay.
pull?
Very good. It was their True Zip technology.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I love
Yes.
love a zip.
The other one I really loved was Heatish, which is they had this sort of steampunk mosquito thing made out of drills.
It was a
yeah,
mosquito mannequin, I believe. A mosquitokin, if
A mosquito
you will.
A mosquito
yeah,
can.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Made of a muffler, and as the center of their booth, and I think it was a great. I don't know, maybe a depiction of where we're going in our future of industrial-shaped mosquitoes flying around.
Gently
Yes.
apocalyptic.
Right.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Who were some booths, Dave, that were just on brand? Was just spot on. Like this is like just
Well,
exactly what
look,
you expect
this-
from this brand.
When it comes to booths, sometimes there is no substitute for a good budget. And so I'm going to give that to, Nerona showed up, and you know what?
Classy.
You see that booth, it looks like Nerona. Arc'teryx, come on. I mean,
Th-
where
that
would we
was-
be
Yeah.
without a massive light box? Like
I
they
agree.
do it
They are
better.
the king of the light box.
They
If you
are,
go
they
into an
are.
Arc'teryx
They
store.
are.
Where's the Light Bright collab that we really need?
Right, yeah, agreed. Absolutely.
I'm going to give Mountain Hardwear the same shout out. It's a wood structure, technically.
Oh, double hardware.
Oh, wow. Okay, double
hardware,
check.
But some good storytelling. And then I know we kind of took them off the list, but you got to give it to Merrill. They know how to build a booth.
Take them off the list.
Disqualified, Dave.
Disqualified.
Name disqualified.
You didn't hear that.
There.
Delete that
Right
from the
there.
podcast.
40 by 40 doesn't exist in this show hall, Dave.
They figured out that 2 brands would get 2 sites.
They should have
They did a
Two
Merrill
next to
by
the
Merrill
one.
collab. Yeah, it was
A
great.
Merrill by Merrill.
Real hot shit.
Oh my gosh, that's
There we go.
amazing. The
That's it.
right and the left together.
How has the North Face not thought of
Boat
this
shoes.
yet? You could collaborate with yourself.
That's true.
Next time, guys. Next time.
Double the PR hits.
And also double the letters in the name.
Oh my God.
Oh
yes.
my goodness.
The SEO search is off the chart.
It's
right?
insane. Okay. All right.
All right, so Dave, who did the most with the least?
The most with the least.
Yes.
Look, that is in everybody's toolkit. I understand, right? You're trying to make these things happen, especially those that came from a show maybe a few days ago, maybe those that are going to a show in a few days. But we just have a couple here. And one is the Mimikai. That's Mimikai.
Mimikai, yes.
What is it?
The deep-free mosquito
the deep-
repellent,
right.
bug
There you go.
repellent.
Yeah.
Plant-based.
Based on tomato plants.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Wild tomato plants.
There's a
Wild,
10 by
feral
10 booth.
tomato plants.
10 by 10 booth, and they just brought off-the-shelf flooring that interlocks, bright colors, and done. Like that's there, you're
close.
done. What am I doing?
You're going too far.
Do
over.
better.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
So we're going to give that just, again, what you can do with
Yeah, but-
simple off-the-shelf things.
But who was the best?
The best, look, that's the Landmark Project.
Yeah, Landmark Project. Beautiful
Project,
booth.
okay? That is a 10 by 10. It kind of had a Wes Anderson set going on.
Yeah,
Right?
totally,
I mean,
yes.
you have
Uh-huh.
the graphic design, and she's sitting there on her computer, and most of the times we would deride someone at their booth for sitting on their computer and a table, but that absolutely looked intentional. I wanted to write. I just wanted to sit there and just write. So
Just write
I
a
saw 3
novella.
booths today where I would have absolutely engaged with them, and they're just there on their computer.
right.
I'm like, guys, stand up, man.
Yeah.
Talk to people.
So
Not at the Landmark Project.
no, that was good stuff.
That's good.
All right, I think our last thing here is, excuse me, we have 2 more. Brands that could have tried a little bit harder.
A little bit
I
harder.
feel like we have to
Can we cue the
explain
in
this.
memoriam music?
Yeah.
to,
Are we
This
gonna-
is, this
gonna-
is brands that are legacy brands that have money.
that they know.
They have money.
They know.
They have
Exactly.
money. They have
Are we
verve.
gonna name names?
I think we should. This is
Should
the
we
rock
name
fight,
names?
guys. Do you want us to name names? Oh, look at all the
Wow.
pebbles being
The
thrown.
blood. They want. They
Does
want.
it fall to me
Wow.
to name names? Or do you want to do
Yeah,
it?
Colin.
All right, we have to do this nicely.
Okay.
But if
Listen.
if they advertise with us, we'll delete this before the podcast goes
Okay,
live.
fair.
Yeah.
Yes, we reserve
we
the
go.
right to edit after. This is in the hall.
And again,
No.
this is from love. These are brands that we love and,
And love.
respect.
And we understand the position they're in because you don't know what's going to happen here.
Right. They didn't know it was going to be this great.
That said, Code Epoxy, what are you doing?
Come on.
We love you
on.
guys
Sorry,
so
guys.
much.
You know,
We love
like,
you.
We
a lot
want
of-
more.
Top 5 apparel brands.
Right? You're letting us
You
down.
could have brought 2 alpacas.
Right. And we had a lovely conversation with Lindsay. Lindsay, we love you. You're great, but come on.
No, hold on, she's absolutely right. They could have upped the
2
llama.
alpacas.
They invented
Couple
that.
llamas.
A
Like,
llama, a llama versus alpaca, like
Cage match.
this could have been real.
In the Arc'teryx booth.
All right. Okay. Next year.
Next up, and I'm sorry to have to do it, but the Marmot booth could have used a little love.
Little love. Although I would, you know what I would say though is, it was a doing business booth. They
It
were
was
back
busy,
there
they
writing
were.
some orders. I
Well,
like
they
it.
heard
Shit,
John
man.
on the rock fight.
Okay, that's
you know,
fair.
and
yeah.
lastly, Chubbies.
Chubbies. Come on, Chubbies. Your
I just
brand
wanted
is
to
about
say
fun and
Chubbies.
excitement. That was not fun or exciting.
They were too hungover to design a booth.
Oh, fair.
Yeah.
Fair. Okay.
All right, last category. We got producer Dave's shout-outs.
Shout outs. This is more of just categories, and again, you've seen the themes. First, I want to shout out to the Euros.
The Euros!
Yes.
Welcome to Switchback. You guys are making the play, right? So, you know, Berghaus, Nerona, Rab, Scarpa, you've been in the industry longer than we've been a country. So I think that's pretty cool to come on and bring it. Like,
It may outlast our country.
They might
you know,
outlast
but
it.
yeah.
Exactly. Yes, that's
Yes.
true.
And the tent is enough. I also do want to shout out. I mean, we talk a lot about the young brands and the kind of giving that space, and a lot of our oxygen is about the big brands. But let's face it, the bigs. Thanks for showing up.
Yeah, bigs.
Okay.
The bigs.
Because
The
Yeah,
20
you-
by 20s.
The big
20 by
guys.
Not
yeah.
the 40 by 40s.
No.
No,
No,
it was
we can't
actually-
talk
it was-
about them.
No, we can't. But
Look, we have seen industries and trade shows rise and fall based on the participation of the larger brands in the space. If we do not all play together, we all go down.
Yeah, we don't
together.
have this.
So I want to just, we've got to keep showing up. So thank you for that.
yeah.
I want to thanks to the founder brands, right? Those that are out here.
Front
just-
row founder brands.
For the founders. That's there for the founders. Come on. Yeah.
Most of the founder brands. Right? But yeah, look, you're pushing that boulder up the hill, right? And it's a hard fight, but it's worth it. And so it's great to see you. You're the energy of this industry. So thanks for being here.
Yeah, the states. We got Maine and Vermont, New England showing up. Stronger together. Good job out there, states. How about video screens?
Well, look, I'm a sucker for a good video screen. So the North Face and Ultra, you get something for that. Bring in the 20 by 20 or whatever that is.
Bring in the electronics.
Yep, right.
Yes.
And then we got, what do you have? The last one here.
This is my favorite category. This is the brands who threw caution to the wind, who stepped it up, and they created names that defy all rules of SEO, that defy pronunciation, but they also defy boring. And so I'm not going to pronounce this.
Oh, no, I
You're
want this so
totally-
bad.
first-
Wait,
first
you
one.
have to do the first one.
Hooty hoo!
Yeah. And then wait, my favorite.
Okay.
Wooloo-mooloo.
Wooloo-mooloo.
Right.
Google broke when they created that one.
They did, yeah.
Too many vowels, too many O's.
vowels.
I mean, UFOs, they're having a moment, but they still called themselves UFOs, which was
Also a lot
brave
of
at once
vowels.
upon a time.
Apparently,
Against
it's
all better
yeah.
judgment,
Apparently,
they
you
did
just
that.
have to have a lot of O's in the name to
I feel
qualify for this category.
That's a good
Doesn't
point. How
UFOs
many O's did we use?
It's a lot of O's. I also feel like UFOs is the sound I would probably make when I put one on my foot, like after a long day.
I'm pretty sure
Is
that's
that how they
probably
named
what
it?
they were going
Yeah.
for.
Yeah, they just
Ooh.
recorded everybody making a sound, and that's what they came up with.
Who do you got next?
Giant mouse knives.
From
I have
Lansing, Michigan.
I have no idea what that means, but awesome.
Is the
Terri-
mouse
terrifying.
giant? Is the mouse knife giant or is the mouse giant?
But
I'm imagining the mouse being giant. It's like
With a
Chuck
knife.
E. Cheese on revenge for all the ball pits that every
that a-
child peed in
So,
the 80s.
you like Chuck E.
Cheese,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So Chuck E. Cheese got into some PCP and just like went nuts.
Absolutely, yeah. He's on every drug.
Yes.
Rampage.
I do feel like Nara belongs on here just because,
Yeah.
right? I mean, Nara.
Gnarly.
Gnarly.
right?
yeah.
And then Colin, who will always make our list of names?
Dave and I, we've been doing this for 2.5 years, and there's a brand that if we hear they're in the trades, we will mention them without fail, and that's turtle fur because it's hilarious.
It's turtle fur.
Turtle
I want to pet it.
Yes, we love that.
And also shout out to the show organizers for feeding us lunch. When did you ever get fed lunch at outdoor retail?
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
We got
The
lunch
Rice
today.
Krispie bars.
And,
Rice
wait, and
Krispies.
breakfast. So.
Yes.
This is the most well-fed I've ever been at a trade show.
All right, guys. So thank you for that. And congrats to all the winners.
Right.
We'll mail you a sticker.
Hold your head high.
Yeah.
Really. I mean,
Put a
it's-
little sign on your booth for tomorrow, in fact.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Livson does.
Talk to Beth about your discount.
Mention
Tell her
on the
Dave
Rock Fight.
sent you.
Yes.
So-
your plaque is in the mail.
So a lot of folks, gather at industry events. The core relationship, though, of this industry trade show, it's built off of the brands and retailers. So we wanted to get the perspective of both of those entities today. So please welcome to the Rock Fight at the Trailheads Theater, the president of Mountain Hardwear, Troy Sicotte, and the owner general manager of Cumberland Transit, which is a specialty outdoor retailer based right here in Nashville, Tennessee, Jason Thienel. Jason's also a La Sportiva athlete. I want to make sure. So shout out to La Sportiva for sponsoring Jason, and this means that he will win whatever race he is registered for from coming on this podcast. So welcome these guys.
How's it going?
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Hey, Colin, you named Troy. I think you nailed. Did he nail it?
We spent a half hour on my last name
Yes.
alone.
I wrote it
And yours
phonetically in
isn't
the
super
outline.
simple
So,
either.
nice
Do you
work.
know what he was
Serious?
trying to
Correct.
call? You know how he was trying to pronounce your last name? Did he
Oh, I
tell
screwed
you?
it up. What is it?
It was all Owen's fault.
Psychotic.
It's Thienel.
No.
He was really trying not
I
to
was so
say
worried
it.
about Troy's. All right. All right, Troy, let's start with you, man. As a brand operator who saw outdoor retailer at its peak, and now we're here at Switchback, what are your thoughts, man? Are we back?
I mean, I'm looking out here, hundreds of people. I think, first and foremost, we're together. And that, I think this is the third or fourth week of trade shows, but we're together, so I think that's a huge win for our industry. Are we back? I think there's still more work to do. I don't think anybody would disagree with that. So whether that's timing or venue or we're in this giant cruise ship on land, so that's a little interesting. But we're well fed. We're well fed.
Yes.
So but it feels good, and that's that couldn't be said for the latter years
The last
of that
few
other
years,
that
yeah.
other place, right?
Jason, do you want to take a minute to go off on the Gaylord Resort as a local? Do you want to? I think we'd all relate.
Yeah, I mean, my only complaint is it's a long way from my house. It's,
Same, actually. Yeah, right.
it took me a long time to get here. Yeah.
But hey, man, like, you're kind of the real hero here, not to blow too much smoke up your ass. Like, publicly, everyone says we need the retailers to attend these shows above all else. So, why is that? How does a show like this help your store? Or how can it help your store?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on
Thanks,
here.
man.
Yeah. And second of all, thanks for calling me a hero. I daily in my grind against big online retailers, I don't feel like a hero.
Good thing Lloyd Vogel left.
So yeah, I appreciate you saying that. But I think that's part of why this show is important, is because even though I have my daily complaints, I can get together with other retailers and talk about that and say like, oh yeah, I'm not the only one that's upset about this, that, or the other.
Yeah, you can feel isolated, I'm sure, at times.
Right, yeah. I'm just sitting in my store looking at all my clothes. But, when I come here, it reignites my stoke for brands and, just for getting together with people, like having coffee before the show or beer afterwards or, here at the happy hour.
Well, actually, I've got a follow-up to that. So, Jason, obviously you're a retailer, you're an athlete, you're an enthusiast. So walking around the show today, what did get you excited? Like, did you see anything that you hadn't seen before? Did you see anything that you thought, maybe I need to start carrying this? What are you psyched about?
Well, did you guys get to experience the Soundworks water park?
No. Can you
Not
carry that in your
yet.
store?
It's here on the resort property. Yeah, it's a water park.
I'm
Anyway,
into that.
that's a bad joke. No, so obviously I'm a fan of the little guy. There's a lot of really cool stuff here. I was really stoked that Ripton is here. I'm a big fan of Ripton.
Shout out Ripton.
Yeah, they make some cool stuff.
Those overalls.
Yeah, but my favorite would have to be butt napkins.
See, butt napkins. I told you
Shout
guys.
out to butt napkins.
What was the brown?
was Shawnté's
the little
favorite.
brown. Listen, if anybody here listens to the podcast, anytime I'm
Shawnté,
on,
please.
I work in a poo mention. So you better bet when I saw butt napkins, I tried really hard to persuade them to send me away with a butt napkin, and they didn't. They didn't feel it. They didn't.
Sure.
I had to take Dave's butt napkins, which is a sentence I
Coming
hope
this
I
fall,
never have
Dave's
to say
butt
again.
napkins.
Jason, you had to go
Free
down this
use.
path. We were really looking for a poop-free podcast, but
It'll never happen
sorry,
again.
Sorry.
okay.
You're a sacrificial lamb.
I'll just add one more thing just about our industry coming together. I think the folks that maybe have been in this industry 10 or 20 years benefited from the access to each other, right? And for the last 5 or 6 years, we haven't had that. So I think, I know I would not be in the seat or have the opportunity to be in the seat or even the interest to work for a brand if it wasn't for that cross-pollination of seeing what that brand over there is doing that's really cool, whether you're in product, marketing, a retailer, a podcaster, whatever that is, or working for a mill, right? Just seeing what others are doing is really kind of a secret sauce for our industry, and I think we get jealous, we get envy, we get like, oh, they're doing something cooler, and that makes us all better. It pushes us. So it feels like there's a little bit of that left, right? Like I was in the Rad booth going like, you guys are doing cool shit. Congrats. Keep
Right.
it going, right? They're a direct competitor, but I'm giving them some affection, right? That's very unique to this industry.
So, Troy, to that point, I mean, with Jason sitting next to you, like, how do you currently feel about the specialty sort of brand relationship? Like, what's working, what's not working from your point of view?
I think there's been a lot of hurdles. I think it's no news to anybody in this room that it's like, can we get one freaking year or maybe 2 or 5 years of normal? It's
Hey,
hard.
our downloads are crushing because of everything.
We're
so
all
just to
tight.
let
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. You're making some money. We're all struggling to pay for trade show booths, right? So, but
Hold on here. Let's get some scale together, okay?
so
Hold on, Colin's making some money.
Wait, I want to know about this money.
you guys didn't see the? No, that's a whole nother podcast.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Give me the money after Troy.
Yeah. But I think, brands that are here, you can tell they're focused on specialty distribution, right? Much of the industry has recoiled, so those that should be purveyors of outdoor specialty gear and apparel are doing outdoor gear and specialty apparel, right? I think there's a little bit of this active lifestyle play that has been all over the podcast,
Right.
but this endemic nature of our industry, be it REI or a mom and pop specialty shop, single door, first or third generation, right? I've run into a lot of those folks here, and that just feels really great. Many of us were at GOA last week. Every brand is setting appointment records, right? So trade is working, specialty is working. I think modern consumers, those brands that have done a lot of consumer insights, are realizing that specialty, independent retail aspect of how you engage with brands and learn about those products is, I think, having a renaissance. So it's important.
Well, same question for you. Like, what's working between brands and specialty?
Yeah, I'd say like as far as like brand relationships, the ones that I mostly admire are the ones that are keeping the marketplace fair. You know, I want to live in a world where consumers can walk into my store and say, your store isn't expensive. You know, it's the same price here as wherever I'm going to get it. So that's important to me. As far as things there's not really anything that's not working. I would like to see like. There are some brands that do like exclusive items for their website or for REI or something like that. I'd love to see an exclusive specialty shop product. You know, something
We may have talked about this once or twice on the podcast. I don't yet remember. You know.
But yeah, I mean, can you imagine what that would do for specialty if we had something that you couldn't get anywhere else?
How would you say like your customer base has changed over the last 5 years? I mean, like Troy mentioned, there's been so much turmoil, and it's affected every level of the industry. Like, what has changed in your shop over the last 5 years?
Yeah, well, from my perspective in Nashville, a lot has changed just because Nashville's exploded and there's a lot more tourism now. So now it's like 50-50 on if it's a tourist or someone that's been my customer for a long time. I really need Hoka to come out with a cowboy boot.
That was mine.
That was yours, yeah.
That was I came up with the Hoka. Well, actually, it was somebody in my comments, but ChatGPT created it.
Taking credit, Comerford.
That's
All
right.
I think they're working on it. It's just they're having a tough time with the stack height.
Okay, I think you're probably right.
That's solid.
So Troy, you know, we heard a lot about, even, you know, as late as the end of yesterday, about the sort of the casualization of the industry. As you look at that as a brand president, and you and I have known each other for years, is that going to change your product plans? Is there a thought like, oh, how does Mountain Hardwear become more lifestyle-y, more casual, more accessible, call it what you will?
Yeah, I think it's a couple different things. Like, you know, speaking for my brand specifically, we make versatile product. Most brands in this building make versatile product. We need to get better at telling those stories to make sure that consumers understand how versatile, you know, a Crater Lake hoodie is. You can run in it, you can climb in it, you can use it as a base layer or a mid layer. And so there are disrupting brands, some of which are in the active lifestyle or lifestyle industry, that have done a really good job at telling that story. So, you know, our industry, outdoor retail, the segment has not grown we're looking at a decade and a half now, right? We're just taking share from each other. So I think that's not a Mountain Hardwear specific thing. I think it's an industry thing where there have been disruptors that have told a very pure story on just like, hey, this thing's comfortable,
right?
And you can use it for 10,000 things, right? I mean, we tend to go like, well, it has a lot of Lycra in it, and it's not going to like wick as fast or dry as fast.
The Clo is 2.2% better than it used to be.
And that's still important when it's alpine or mountaineering or trail running or ultra running. So I just think there's an element of, you know, speaking again for my brand, our brand, we already make this stuff. It's just how do we, you know, with budgets at hand, with media prices the way they are, with how media is consumed, you know, I hope it's not a get ready with me TikTok shop, and that's speaking to my head of marketing. He doesn't want that either, right? But that's happening. How are we going to respond to that? Because it's happening and it's also proliferating and working. So how does our industry, how does a specialty-focused brand like Mountain Hardwear respond to that to drive traffic into his store, right? That's the thing. So then his staff is engaged and able to continue that story.
So Jay, you're a customer of Mountain Hardwear. Is there anything you'd like to say to Troy? You know, you want to like Do we want to air it
Tell
out
them
here,
what
guys?
you really,
You
yeah.
know,
Well, how do
like-
you really feel?
Honestly, I really feel good about Mountain Hardwear.
Oh, look at that!
Yeah,
All right.
there was a time where it wasn't so great, but I say
And then Troy took over.
yeah, and,
Right.
and Mountain Hardwear is back. It's a great brand.
Last question, guys. Honestly, like, pretty simple, and to put you on the spot, will you be back at Switchback next year?
Yeah, I'll be back. I live here.
What
Hopefully
if it's
still
not here, Jason?
What if it's not?
What if it's elsewhere? Think hard.
If it's elsewhere, maybe we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see how much the flights cost.
Oh, fair point.
Fair.
What do you say, Troy?
We're committed to telling our story and getting in front of more people. So, if Switchback is, that's a very political DC.
Yeah, I feel like I'm
answer.
at a presidential debate right now.
I was in DC for a week
Yeah,
lobbying
that's-
on trade, so maybe I learned. But absolutely yes. It's good energy. Watch my LinkedIn. I mean, I've engaged with 25 people already that I have not seen in person in, I don't know,
years,
5-10 years. That alone is worth it. My team, I've experienced them getting access to that as well. So that's super important.
Yeah.
Whether you're a brand or a retailer, a nonprofit.
So yes or no?
Absolute yes.
Okay, there it is.
Absolutely, yes.
Thank you both so much for joining us. Really appreciate both coming. Thank you for making the time and joining the Rock Fight. Thanks, guys. All right, well, producer Dave went to go find, like a Dolly Parton autograph or something like
Did
that.
he go find Christina to ask if she'll be back next year?
He's going to poll everyone in the building.
Everyone in the
Okay.
building.
Except the people at Merrill.
Yeah, we don't talk to them.
Okay. So, but that's it, guys. That's the show. Any final thoughts, Shawnté and Eoin?
No, thanks for having us.
Yeah. Thank you all very much. That's the show for today.
More clapping, more cheering.
And here to take us out is Krista Makes with the Rock Fight Fight song. We'll see you next time, Rock Fighters.
Rock fight.